G'day everyone and welcome to the TBD podcast, the to be decided on the name. It's myself, Jared, and my co-host, Ethan.
Hi.
And we're going to be reviewing a great movie today.
Brilliant.
As usual for this podcast. It's going to be Catwoman. It's Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
I can't say her name. Halle, yep.
Halle Berry.
And it's just the time that she got an Oscar, so it's kind of...
Well, she didn't win an Oscar for this movie.
No.
She won Razzies for this movie.
Yes.
In fact, the movie won numerous Razzies.
It's rather poetic when you think about it. It's like she's at her highest and her lowest at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive.
Have you listened to her Razzie acceptance speech?
No.
Oh, you've really got to.
Really? You just said it was really sad and weird.
She was
like this movie.
She laughs about it, but I don't think she was happy about this movie. No.
That's right. Well, let's get into this movie. This is before the success of the modern Marvel movies. I think it's after the Tim Burton one.
It's earlier than I mean, it's later than I thought. I thought this was, when you watch it, it's like, oh, this is like a late 90s film.
Yeah.
But I think it's like 2005, 2004.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So it's after the Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Matrix is 2000.
Which is funny because the animation in this is not good.
Wait, when did Iron Man come out? 2008. So that's when comic book movies started.
So this is 4 years before Iron Man.
Yeah, that's when comic book movies started getting like really good.
Wasn't it around the same time as the Christopher Nolan ones though?
Yeah, they were
Batman's.
Really good. Oh shit. Was that?
Is this whole podcast going to be you looking up different movie dates? Well, anyway, compared to those movies, Catwoman's a pile of shit, Jared.
Oh no.
I think we can agree on that.
Guess what? Dark Knight came out 2008.
Oh, okay.
Or is that the second one?
Yeah.
Oops. Anyway, Catwoman's a pile of shit. So let's keep on track with that. So we'll start off. And
when did you? I mean, we knew it was a bad movie when we looked it up, but when did you first realize that it was going to be bad?
What, as I was watching it?
Yeah.
Like straight away.
Yeah. The
intro
title crawl is just cats, and the credits, right? And it's just cats and women who have liked cats throughout history, and it goes on for like 5 minutes.
Now
of just pictures of cats.
Yeah. This is kind of a starting point where I feel like whoever was writing or directing it didn't quite know. Catwoman could be a superhero sort of character, but it doesn't mean that she is a cat.
Because I've only seen the cartoons, and in that she's basically just a cat burglar.
Yeah.
She's a woman who steals shit and dresses up as a cat. Like, she likes cats.
Yeah, she can like cats.
She's a human.
But exactly. She's not a cat in human form. Which I feel like this is the problem with this
I don't
movie.
think she's not a cat in human form. She's the living embodiment of cattiness.
Oh, God. No,
and cat-like behavior.
She act like... We'll get to it more, but like...
Is she even the only Catwoman?
No. We'll get to it. So, she's working as an artist. Well, apparently she's not an artist.
No, she is not an artist.
Yeah.
Her dream was to be an artist, but her dream died when she sold out and went corporate.
Yeah.
And started making posters for a beauty company, which you got to assume takes some sort of artistic talent.
She has a very strict sense of what a true artist is.
Yeah.
If you work for someone else, you're not a true artist, basically. So, fuck you.
Yeah. Also, what this movie starts with, what every good movie starts with, is a introductory, a narration by Catwoman.
Oh,
talking about how this is the worst day of her life, what's happening and stuff.
Well, you're going to get caught up to speed. You know?
Oh, yeah.
How else are they going to do
straight
that?
away.
Because
it starts off with her dying and then instantly snaps back 5 days later or something.
I literally missed that.
Yeah, because it's so short, you blink and you miss it.
Right.
Yeah, it's right after the cat intro. There's a little bit of water.
Yeah.
And her talking about dying. And then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Straight back into it.
With Catwoman, before she's Catwoman, and she's working in a place...
She's Patience.
As Patience, which is already a cat name, so that's quite fitting.
Yeah.
And
a lot of fitting names in this.
Exactly. Yes. And she's working at this cosmetic company.
Yeah.
And she's
which is apparently the most large and powerful corporation in the city. And, they just make face cream.
And basically what she's doing at that point, there's not a whole heap. She hasn't delivered properly on a project, and there's also going to be a new fate. There's two CEOs or the whatever company owners.
Yeah, so Sharon Stone, who's playing...
Do you remember these names?
No, that's the name of the actress. I can't remember her actual name. who's playing the wife of the
Evil CEO guy.
CEO guy, who is like the most out there evil guy possible. Like,
Yeah.
is such a scumbag. They tried really hard.
So we're setting up her, so
She is being ditched from
the face.
being the face of the company for this 25-year-old that the CEO boss is screwing.
Yes, because of course he is.
And it's weird that even though she was meant to be like 50 or something, she is more attractive than the 25-year-old. Did they go?
Come
No,
on.
she looks incredibly washed out in all of those posters.
Yeah, that's just a single
like she's got
photo.
a flu or something.
It's so weird to like argue about that one point.
It just seems strange to me.
Point is, Sharon's pissed off about it,
Yeah.
and that kind of, I guess that sets up why she's pissed off. At
It's
her
also
husband.
set up that she's been using the face cream that they're about to release for like decades now.
And I think the friend is too.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not
She's
really,
been stealing stuff.
That's not really properly used.
No, it is because it makes her sick.
No, but then she just blames on alcohol later, and then she is literally always drinking in every scene afterwards. And I
She's
was like,
perfectly fine after she gets hospitalized, I
that's
guess.
so confusing.
No, but she complains about headaches and stuff.
So we'll go on. Not a lot. Like it gets very quickly to a death, doesn't it?
Well, basically,
Oh, no.
you find out the face cream that they're about to release. That the scientist explains, oh, it causes headaches and nausea and blackouts, but long term, it also causes addiction.
Yeah.
But long term, if you stop taking it, you turn into a burn victim.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
That's exactly what
But-
you take face cream
but that's
for.
where the scientist draws the line. He was fine. They were fine with releasing a product that caused nausea,
Yeah.
headaches. Was it the woman like passes out and
That's like-
stuff?
that's
All
like-
kinds of problems. And they've hid it from the FDA. They're fine with doing that. But the fact that after a long time it causes scarring, that's where he drew the line.
Yeah, he's a short term, not long term guy.
It's
That's
crazy.
what he's down with.
Also, why is the biggest thing in this show is them releasing this obviously faulty product? How long is it going to stay on shelves? Honestly, a face cream.
I don't.
A face cream that causes massive scarring.
But back to our actual hero, right? So she needs to deliver a product. She goes in,
Which,
and then
was that weird to you? Like,
why are you so annoyed about these tiny?
there's
little
so many
intricate
tiny
bits?
things that irritated me
These
in this
things are
thing.
not important.
But, okay, so she goes in with her first thing to get chewed out by the boss, and he's just like, this is the wrong red. You gotta change the red.
Okay, so then she
That
puts
takes her like 2 days.
yes.
She couldn't just hit like
We
fix
got- okay,
on a
we
computer
gotta
and
get
just
to the
change the part that's colored.
Let's get to the big scenes.
Okay.
So she's sent home to do her work or whatever. She goes home to do her
She's
work.
got to get it to her by him by the end of the day.
The next day, she's doing her work, and that's all cool. She sees a cat on the ledge, and she's like on the second or third story. of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
building?
she's like 3 stories up.
All right. So, being the cat lover that she is already, she sees the cat and is like, "Oh, that's not good. Little kitty, what are you doing?" Right? She goes out the window and then sees that the cat now is somehow teleported another
Yeah.
like.
So what we find out later is that the cat is testing her.
Yes, but this
Because-
is weird.
The whole thing is weird, but the cat testing her is weird.
Yeah, because this is what I was thinking too. So, the test is, are you
stupid enough to follow a cat out onto the edge of the building?
Yeah.
Which she is. And she is about to die.
Yeah. she
It
is
also
actually
looks
gonna
like
die.
she's
committing suicide.
committing suicide.
Which our cop love guy, I can't remember his name, but the spunk.
Do you
dude-
remember any of their names?
No, I don't remember it. I remember Patience and Sally.
I remember Ophelia Powers.
Oh, that's a terrible name. So the cop spunk dude, he pulls up and he's like, no, you have something to live for. And she's like, no, I'm actually trying to save a cat. And of course the cat's gone.
Yeah, so he just flat out thinks she's crazy.
Right.
Which
well,
isn't helped by the way she acts.
Anyway,
Which
so
is crazy.
he saves her, and then she runs to work, but she drops her wallet. Now this is where it gets a little bit weird. So, in his mind, she was just trying to commit suicide.
No. He sees the cat inside and realizes she was telling the truth. He stops thinking she's crazy and just starts thinking she's an idiot.
Okay, but yeah, I guess so. He can't think that great of her right now.
Oh no, well, I mean, they seem to get along.
Yeah, but and then so she
They're both attractive people, I guess.
so she gets the well. That's how these movies go. They're attractive, and that's it.
Yeah, so he finds her wallet and decides to track her down to her workplace.
Well, he's a cop. So
well,
he just
yeah,
calls
okay.
the
He's a
boys.
cop, so it's okay.
He just calls the boys in and he says, "Where is he?" And then he turns up there and he seems like the guy who just flash his thing, get in.
Yeah, that was fine. I had no problem with that.
That's right.
The way her work friend acts, though,
Sally.
is strange.
You don't like Sally?
Sally is a predator. She is very open about what she thinks about men, especially.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm not.
I like Sally. She's a strong character.
Weird in the show, though.
She's a strong character.
Yeah.
That's all. She has her loves. She knows what she wants in life.
She wants a hot doctor.
She wants,
and she gets it.
Totally. I thought you were gonna say hot dick because that's what she says at a point. I'm pretty sure she talks about like the
well,
coffee.
that's how she's been getting the samples of the not yet released face cream
she's just been flashing.
by using her feminine wiles. That's what she says.
Look, so Sally's a character who's just gonna be our main character's friend who is just telling her, you gotta go out, you gotta enjoy yourself.
She's also in hospital for half the movie because she's been using the face cream.
Yeah. Anyway, so our character then does a long day at work, needs to deliver the product. Now, this is a bit I found a bit weird. She calls up another department to, deliver it, and it's like 12 at night.
Okay, I was trying to figure out... So she's got to deliver it to the CEO guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing running throughout the show where she thinks the CEO is the bad guy. But the thing is... So I think what's happened is Sharon Stone has actually been running the company, basically, especially with the face cream.
Yeah.
The CEO pretends to, but he's basically just running around with young women.
Yeah.
So when she phones up to ask where the CEO is, they tell her where Sharon Stone is for some reason.
Well, they're both CEOs,
Why?
aren't they? They're co-CEOs.
Yeah, but he's the owner. He's
owning
and running it. I don't know. It was a bit...
Well, anyway, so she...
She doesn't go to where he is. She goes to where she is, but she thinks he's there.
Yeah.
And that's where she finds out that the face cream is evil.
Because she walks to the front door of this place, which had a guard on it. I'm pretty sure the bodyguard's at the front. And somehow then it cuts to her...
She accidentally walks into a meeting of them discussing how evil the product is.
Yeah, but she also walks... I don't get how she walks through the front door, but then it shows her walking through, service areas.
She just walks through, an open lab area.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's like, no, you would have stopped at, the front... And of course, she overhears it, and they're like... And straight away, Sharon Stone's like, get him! And then... One of the so there's two
There's
bodyguards,
two evil bodyguards.
Well,
one of them
is more evil than the other one.
Much more evil than the other one. They burst into an open room and they see her, call out to her, and she's like, okay, I'm coming out. The evil bodyguard just straight away just opens fire.
Yeah.
Just indiscriminately into the room. To the point where the other guard actually pulls him to the side,
says,
what the hell's going on?
What the fuck are you doing? And it's like, yeah, dude, why are you shooting someone?
And then he threatens the other guard and continues to chase her.
Yeah, so one of the security guards, I don't know where they're getting these guards from, but one of them's a fucking psycho.
Yeah, well, there's only two throughout the whole movie, basically.
That's true. Anyway, we're moving up, and she, of course, hides in this icky
hides in
drain.
the only giant drain she can find.
And that's when they call up Sharon, is like, oh, she heard everything, what do we do? And then she goes, oh, well, get rid of her. So they close it off and shoot her off into
they open up the they open up the water so it all throws her out into the
thing
into the lake
thing. But then she ends up on rocks.
Well, she ends up on a giant pile of mud covered in shit and cats.
Yeah, lots of cats.
Lots of cats.
Don't know where the cats came from.
So
I don't even know how she got there.
Well, I assume she dies. She actually dies and she floats up somewhere. So and Midnight, which is the cat that was testing her earlier, turns up with a bunch of other cats and
just eat her.
Burps in her face. And this green gas comes out of its mouth and goes into hers.
There was actual green gas coming out of its mouth.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
It looked like it burped into its mouth. So, also the CGI for the cat. CGI for the whole film is terrible, but the CGI for the cat, which is very questionable. You're like, there are certain scenes where you're like,
couldn't they have used a real cat?
Just you have a scene where you have a person laying down and a cat walking up to the person. Don't CGI the cat. Like they have a cat for this Midnight cat.
Yeah,
right? So
they couldn't get it to walk forward for a bit.
Yeah,
they had to CGI the whole
worst
thing.
cat ever.
Yeah.
Okay, worst cat ever. So the cat burps into her face, and then she comes back to life as Catwoman.
She is both Patience and the inheritor of a magical cat force, which means for the rest of the movie, Halle Berry acts like she's some sort of schizophrenic with two different personalities.
This is very important. So, does she just get straight home, basically?
Yeah, I think she just sort of teleports home. But for the rest of the movie, half the time she'll be acting as this incredibly powerful person.
I forgot though. She does
very
this
confident
weird thing where she like can zoom in on things with her eyes, and she freaks out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She looks at a crab and she's like, "Ooh!"
She hears a crab running on the other side, and she's like trying to catch it. She also
powers never used
She
again.
starts moving and jerking around like the weirdest cat you've ever seen.
Yeah, I was actually looking at something where they were talking about like movement and what makes like a horror movie.
Yeah,
sort of movements where it's kind of disjointed.
it's
and
not
human-like.
normal.
That's what she has. So it's sort of entering in the horror realm where it's like her movements aren't human movements.
Well,
but
if you
they're
can
close
imagine
enough.
like a crazy cat like jumping around, swatting at things, she does that.
If you could
That's what
imagine-
she's doing.
if you could
She's
imagine-
running around going, "Rah!" She actually hisses occasionally, makes cat noises, and like bats at
So
things.
this is a big one I want to get to, which is like, I don't think she's a woman with the powers, like cat powers or anything like that.
Yeah, no, she's actually been taken over by some sort of cat god thing.
Yeah, she's inherited the cat into her personality of a cat.
Which is described as being like she's free from society,
See,
she's all powerful.
If we
It's
go
a bit
for like,
weird.
yeah, if we go for Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man's a good one. So Spider-Man, crazy toxic spider thing bites him.
He gets
whatever.
bitten by a spider.
But he
he
gets
doesn't
certain
become
powers, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
But he doesn't start
start
acting like a spider. He doesn't start like spinning up webs and like eating flies and stuff.
Exactly. But
Which
she
is
does.
what Catwoman basically
She
does.
starts going crazy, and we'll get to it then. She.
So she finds.
How did she find the old woman again?
Okay, so she
she's returning
returns.
the cat.
She finds Midnight back in her room. Knows Midnight's involved with everything, and Midnight's got like this fortune cookie thing around her on her collar. So she cracks it open, and it's got the address of Dr. Ophelia
Who put a
Powers.
fortune cookie on a cat collar.
I don't know. Well, it wasn't a fortune cookie, but it was
you're
something
right.
like
It had
that.
a weird. Why couldn't it just be a?
It
collar?
couldn't be just a normal
Yeah.
collar. No. So she goes to meet Ophelia Powers, who I don't know. You know, I don't want to nitpick at the little things, but she's got a large house. Just a regular large house in the middle of this city.
In like New York, sort of.
Yeah, so
city.
it's surrounded by skyscrapers. It
Can I-
reminded me of, you know, in Up,
Ah.
just before he takes off with the balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they've built the city around
See,
this
I
house.
was actually gonna pick a different movie.
Oh, what?
Stuart Little. Which, interestingly enough, just stay with me, okay?
Yeah.
Stuart Little, right? That's a movie about a mouse with a personality.
You know, there's a
What a connection.
you know, there's a
What a
Reddit
twist.
sub on Stuart Little that is incredibly disturbing.
He is scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about his life. It's terrible. But it's almost like the opposite, where she is a human but acts like a cat, while Stuart Little is a mouse that acts like a person.
It's weird things. Anyway, so we get to this woman, Ophelia Powers.
When
And
we
of course,
find they live next
of course,
door.
she's a cat woman
Oh my god.
because she's got dozens of cats around. And also, is she a cat woman herself?
No, I think she's just crazy.
No,
She's
because
just a
she talks
crazy
about
Catwoman.
Midnight has given powers to other people.
Not her.
Not? Are you sure?
Yeah, she's just straight up a crazy Catwoman.
Okay.
But she's even called
At one
a
point,
crazy Catwoman.
well, at one point she was a doctor, but she didn't get tenure because
Yes.
male academia.
But really, it's
Definitely
because
not her being a crazy person
It's probably not
obsessed with cat cults.
it doesn't help that she comes in and smells of cat piss every day.
Right?
And like, she had so many cats.
The cats were actually like drinking out of her cups and stuff.
Oh.
Anyway, she tells her that she's got powers from Midnight, and Halle Berry runs out.
Yeah. And that's when
Oh,
we
but
also
that's-
learn about the history
But
of the
that's
cats.
also the scene where we get the catnip,
Oh my god.
which is hilarious.
Probably the worst scene I've ever seen.
So
Like,
Halle Berry is in denial. She's saying, no, nothing's happened. All of a sudden, Ophelia Powers takes something out of a box and hands it to Halle Berry, and she just goes nuts. She's rubbing it all over her face.
I thought it
She's
was
licking
shit.
it. It looked like because I've never seen catnip before, but apparently it looks like a little ball of shit. And she's rubbing it all over her face.
Could you imagine telling Halle Berry, like, hey, so in this scene, like, she takes out catnip, and then you just, like, rub it on your face like cocaine. And she's like, okay, I'll do that.
I assume
Just
throughout the entire
terrible.
shoot, they had, like, a TV screen up just offside of cats acting weird and just be like,
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah.
Do what the cat's doing.
And then when you go to the toilet, I want you to poop in the corner, and then
Yeah.
I want you to claw out the ground to try and hide it. She's like, okay. I really wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They didn't.
I'm
get
trying
that
to
far.
remember if she went back to her work the next day, yeah?
Yeah, and then she gets fired.
Yeah, she gets fired, and I think rightfully so, because she acts like a dick to the boss. I mean, the boss is a dick, but...
Yeah,
Yeah.
she gets fired because she's like, yeah, I didn't do
This
the
is
work.
when she starts acting sort of weird, like she's got split personality or something. Because 1 minute she's not doing the work at all, and she's lost the work. But the boss is like, well, what are you doing? She goes, I'm so sorry. And she's like on the verge of tears. She's like, well, that's not really good enough. And then she just starts berating him.
And then
He says, well, you're fired. And then she starts crying again.
yeah.
And that's where you see the two personalities start to come
I
out.
couldn't figure it out because it's like, again, with most superheroes, it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're more confident as a superhero, where they're in the real, like Superman,
No, her as Catwoman is a completely different
it's
person.
actually a different person.
Yeah.
It's not.
I wasn't. She seemed to be like shocked. Like she was doing things and she didn't want to.
I felt like she actually had forgotten she had done some of the
Yeah,
things.
because I don't think she remembered how she got home. Because did she remember seeing the
No.
the face cream bad
Nope.
stuff? Because she seemed to have forgotten all of
She
that.
forgot all that.
Okay.
So it honestly feels like she has like two different. Well, one's this cat woman who's crazy,
Yeah.
and then there's her normal self, and it felt like she was fighting herself for
Because-
half the film.
What happens after she gets fired is she sees a diamond necklace in a window. She
She's
falls
like,
in love
"I
with
want
it. And then at night she decides, I'm gonna go steal it.
And you did actually forget though. Sally passes out because she was having a cram. Goes to
Oh,
hospital.
yeah, okay, they take her to hospital.
Yeah,
Whatever.
and she kisses at some dogs.
Yeah, she just attacks some dogs
Just-
on the street.
As you do.
Yeah.
When you're a cat, that's what you do.
I like how, if Sally hadn't gone to hospital, would she have, like, sent Catwoman to hospital? Just because she starts to realize that she's acting really weird.
Yeah.
And, I think she would have gotten her section.
Oh, well, this is where we realize that she's forgetting stuff. So she does this whole cat burglary thing. So there's some people there already.
Yeah,
And-
she obviously isn't in control of her own her own actions.
So straight away, she's got a kind of nice suit. Like, what she wears is pretty nice. This is what confused me too. She's sexy.
What is there of the suit? There isn't much. It's a couple of straps.
Well, normally it's CGI
and a
too.
head mask.
But, like, she is a sexy actor.
Yeah.
And she's got a sexy suit, but most of the time it's CGI. And then she goes to this place to do the robbery where someone
Which is
would be
already
robbing-
being robbed.
And then she, like, does
Flies around the room. Oh, it looks so bad.
I wish
She's
it could've been,
running on the sides of the walls and stuff
Why couldn't they just make her be a human?
with...
Like, great
I
flexibility
wouldn't
and
even
stuff.
mind if she had, like, sort of superpowers, but why can she climb up, like, bare walls like that?
And jump like a cat. Like, you're
Yeah.
not morphing into a cat.
Well, she basically does with that CGI.
Yeah.
She looks
and
like the cat.
That's what looks terrible. And that's why it's like, oh my god, we forgot to talk about the editing. That's why it's cutting so much in those scenes, is to hide the fact that her movements aren't, like, her bones don't work.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
turned into a
She
cat.
looks like she's a fluid.
But the editing also in this movie, horrible. Horrible. There are so many, like, jump cuts.
And for no reason, like, two people would be talking and it'll cut between them to a different cut,
I think
every couple of seconds.
The one that really personified it for me
Was it the basketball scene?
Oh, no. There's the cop, and he's just talking to his friend. This is just a very boring scene.
Yeah.
Where it's maybe like a 10-second talk scene. And they seriously do cuts, like 10 or 12 cuts in between. And I'm like, why they'll cut to the guy's face, cut to the other guy's, cut to a cup, cut to the other guy's, cut to cup. And I'm like, what is going on?
I was becoming disorientated
yeah,
at certain
it's
parts.
whoever
But
was doing
anyway, so she walks in the robbery, takes out bad guys,
Yeah, that's cool.
and
Then the next
takes
day,
everything home with her.
But the next day she wakes up and goes, oh my god, I robbed a place. And it's like,
Yeah,
you
it's like
don't?
she doesn't know what
You don't
she's
remember
done.
this?
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
This is we should mention earlier, she set up a date with the cop.
And she didn't.
She
turn up
welched on
because
it.
She got killed.
And she sent him a coffee cup with sorry written on it.
Yes. And that...
Which is important because she leaves the jewels, apart from a couple of ones, out front of the crime scene, which the police find, in a big box with the same sorry written on it. The exact same sorry.
And this leads up to a scene later on, which makes no fucking sense.
But at this point, the cop, who is pretty into her, basically figures out that she's Catwoman. Like, I think he keeps trying to find evidence, but he basically knows almost straight away.
But he has this very strange thing where he goes to some
he gets the handwriting on the cup and the box compared.
Yeah, and the forensic dude straight up, he goes, well, what do you think is the match? And he goes, well, it's very close, but, you know, this isn't an exact
obvious.
science.
This seems to be being written by two different people. Do you
no.
see the O's? They're struggling to be out and, expansive.
No. The guy goes, this isn't an exact science. And he goes, okay, well, just give me your best guess. And the guy goes,
completely
well, in that case,
analyzes their personalities.
He starts pointing out the O means this personality, that this means this. And I'm like,
see, this is that she's an introvert. This is that she's an extrovert, but she wants to make friends.
I couldn't believe that guy. He went
and then in the end, this is obviously written by two different people. You put them in the same room, you'd have one hell of a party.
No, I think he did think it was the same person.
I don't know.
But my point is, how can you go from like, oh no, you can't take any good guesses off this. Just take the best guess. Well, in that case,
here's her personality.
Oh, but anyway, so she's trying to find. Well, now she kind of pulls what the cop did to her, and she goes to where the cop's working. Except because he's one of those cool cops, he's not on the street. Also, by the way, he works alone, but he's not on the street.
Yeah, he doesn't have partners.
No, because he
just doesn't like it.
No, I think he says because he's like he works.
It doesn't really matter.
It's just all really weird. It's not like
he's a workaholic or something.
Yeah, it was like
she decides
like
she's
to play
fired
by the
now.
Rules. He's like, I like to play by the rules, and it's like, does that mean like? I think that's fine to have a partner if you play by the rules.
I think they're meant to.
Yeah, that would make it sound like you should.
But she tracks him down to a school where he's giving a talk.
So she just walked into a school where he's giving a talk and just turned up, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is all normal." No, it's not.
Yeah,
that's not like.
Was there a teacher there at all?
No. It's just
it was just the cop and this random woman who walked in off the street.
If a teacher was there, the teacher would have stopped them fucking in front of the kids.
Yeah, well. 2 seconds after she arrives, the kids have had enough of the talk and they want to play basketball. And they want to see them play basketball against each other.
They do, yeah.
Which is just weird.
As kids are always like, I don't want the cop and his girlfriend to play basketball, I'm gonna watch.
They throw the basketball to Halle Berry and she starts bouncing off the wall and giggling like an idiot.
Well,
she's like, I've never done this before. I'm so good. It's just weird.
And then they start doing this weird basketball scene, which they also
the basketball sex scene,
which is a lot reminiscent to Daredevil, the horrible movie, where it's in a basketball court right next to one as well. That they do this terrible scene.
It's not the same. It's nowhere near as bad.
For some reason, both of the films decided.
But it's like the cop boyfriend flashes his abs at her. She's shaking her ass at him,
and she ends up mounting him in the end.
Yeah, like knocks him to the ground and just sits on top of him.
Now you have to imagine
with the kids like in a circle around them, egging them on.
You have to imagine this without music and being a bystander. So you're just watching and you're like, "Oh, we're gonna play bars." No, you're gonna watch the police play with his girlfriend. Oh, he's flashing his abs. Oh, he's on the ground. She's mounting him.
Where is the teacher? What is happening? Even the kids seem weirded out because at the end they're just like, can we just have our ball back?
Yeah, can you guys like go fuck somewhere else?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So that's moving on from there. I guess then our bad chick is like, what'd she do from there? She wants to release the product.
So she wants to release the product. The doctor who was creating it had second thoughts. So I think she's had him killed.
I'm trying to remember why Halle Berry or Catwoman.
She's trying to figure out why she was killed. So she goes to the place where she died.
Oh, and she meets.
And it just happens to be that No, she doesn't meet the CEO there.
Yeah, she does.
Does she? No, not the first time.
What?
Remember, that's when she gets framed for murder because she finds the dead doctor is just lying there and he's been shot. And that just happens to be when the cleaner comes, sees her, and just assumes it's her.
Are you sure that's not? I'm pretty sure she's already met the woman first, the woman CEO.
No. She goes to her house after that.
Does she?
Yeah, because at this point, she still thinks it's the dude.
Alright, so she goes to that place, finds the dude dead, someone sees her, she's like, oh my god.
So now everyone in the city, including the boyfriend, is searching for Catwoman, who is now a burglar.
A woman who's wearing a cat mask, which is pretty...
I think they call her Catwoman straight away. But,
Then she goes to that CEO's place.
No, she goes back to see Ophelia Powers.
Does she? Oh,
yeah, she goes
more pointless
back
stuff.
to Ophelia Powers, who tells her that there's been this cult of cat women dating back to, like, Egypt or something.
That doesn't matter.
Pushes her off the second balcony
Like
and
an
throws pictures at her.
Oh my god, why did she just throw
Just
pictures
dumps
everywhere?
pictures on her and goes, see, there have been Catwomen throughout time. And then we get a second montage of Catwomen and cats as the pictures fall, which are the same ones from the opening credits.
Oh my god, I forgot also. She's she then goes home to, like, look up Catwomen online, right? But she just types in, like, cat, women, and then it comes up with, like...
With the same pictures as well.
Yeah, but what else does it show also? It just shows, like, random old women holding cats.
Yeah, just cat women
okay.
in pictures. It's weird.
See, I would have looked up something else, like, women who like pussy.
Yeah, that's a word, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's much... No, anyway. So then she goes to the CEO's place? When the CEO's like, no, that's actually my husband who set you up, and...
Yeah,
like,
so Sharon Stone blames her husband, who she hates.
Which is cool.
Which is fine, because he's a scumbag.
Then the Catwoman goes to...
So now she knows the CEO is at a theatre thing.
Yeah. So she goes there, surprises him, cuts his face, jumps off...
And then basically... She's not very good at it at this point, because the minute she gets into the building, she's immediately seen. So tons of police turn up, including her boyfriend. They have a weird balcony fight.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, but it wasn't...
You
know what? Actually, I'll be honest. I think that balcony fight thing was probably the best fight in the whole movie.
Yeah. She's just toying with him. He feels toyed with the whole way through.
It feels like the one where it's like, yeah, she's the chick who can, like, jump and do a lot of acrobatic
But after
stuff.
she licks him on the face, she also kisses him, which is how he figures out it's her later on.
Right, so she gets away from there, and then she gets... What the hell happens? All I remember then is she goes back to CEO's place to find the dude dead.
We're out of order of everything. But
did I miss something? Is there something I'm forgetting?
Oh, there's some more stuff with the was it Sally? There's more stuff with Sally.
Sally, okay.
Not
Sally
important at all.
Not important. She goes to hospital.
She's meant to be the comedic friend, but she's
just horny.
It's just weird
just really
and not
horny.
Funny. She just wants to bang her doctor.
That's it. She wants to bang anything that moves in this movie. And she specifically is like, I want, if you don't get with that cop,
you gotta give him some brown sugar.
Oh, what was that thing about, like, the cop? It's like,
weird,
you gotta get coffee with the cop, because if you're not gonna be there, I'm gonna be, like, licking the fluff off of my mouth. And I'm like, ugh! Yeah. Oh, God! Sally, no! They go... That's... Okay, I did forget one scene.
What?
And it's kind of important, because it's a weird trope that they have. So, I've not really been to New York. I'm not sure if this... I feel like this is based off New York.
There's a lot of her running through the roofs of New York.
Oh my God.
Bouncing around. Sort of like Spider-Man, like moving the same way, but without the webs. So she's literally leaping buildings. So there's this Catwoman.
There's two things that we need to get to right before the end.
Yeah.
So one is that this is one that kind of also helps a cop realize that she's Catwoman, is that they go to a carnival.
Well, he looks at the carnival bit.
Well, but this is the thing,
I completely forgot about that because it's pointless.
In a city, it looks like they're in the city. Now, Melbourne City is a bit different, so you can't just tear down a whole heap of buildings and put a tiny carnival.
There always seems to be a carnival going on in America.
Oh my God.
Maybe there is like a carnival area near New York or something.
In all these movies, there's always like that small, tiny carnival.
And it's always the Ferris wheels that go wrong. So they're on a Ferris wheel.
Never go on Ferris wheels.
And the whole thing just collapses.
And of course, this is the funny bit too. So he got off the wheel and like tries to stop it, and then I think makes it worse, but then does stop it. But she also then sees the kids falling out which then also starts breaking apart. She then makes her way down and saves the kid.
Yeah.
And then she gets off, and he goes, "What? How did you get from there to there?" And she's like,
It's the same way you did.
I was like, yeah, that's a fair response.
Yeah, that shouldn't have raised his suspicions at all.
Like, dude, you actually made it down further than she did.
Yeah.
So
that whole scene was just nothing.
just don't go near carnivals. And the other thing is too, a very minor thing was that it's shown earlier on in the film before she becomes Catwoman that she's got some loud neighbors, and the loud neighbor is.
Is that a neighbor
This is
or is that
important.
an actual
I thought about it.
bar or something?
Okay, so it's a loud neighbor, and it's in another apartment complex because it has a number for an apartment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the weird thing is too, from the outside, it looks like it's just got a single number. It's a normal sized apartment. So when she's Catwoman, she's like, I'm not going to put up the noise. So she goes over there to tell them off. So she goes up, taps on the door.
Couldn't you have just made a noise complaint?
But
I assume the police would have been on her side in this case.
But this is where it gets really weird.
Yeah.
This is an apartment. This is like the 4th level up. When she knocks on the door and she goes inside, this isn't an apartment inside now. The only thing that's there is a stage and a bar. They've set up giant music boxes.
Maybe the guy just likes to party, Jared.
That's his life. He parties hard.
Yeah.
So
his life
it was just
is a
so
rave.
weird. That was the weirdest apartment I've ever seen.
That's what you're in. Okay.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Anyway, back to the movie. Catwoman goes back to the CEO's home to confront them, and she finds, the CEO boss is dead, and Sharon Stone is there saying, well, now you've attacked him, I'm going to frame his death on you, and just sort of tosses the gun to her, which is when the police turn up. And it just so happens that the boyfriend has also figured out who Catwoman is. He's had the kiss mark on his face and the coffee cup analyzed and figured out it's the same person. So he's at her apartment just arrests her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how Catwoman ends. Her getting arrested for murder.
Exactly it.
Double murder.
Right. No, of course, what happens is she escapes and then...
Because it's one of the worst frame jobs possible.
Sorry. So she escapes, as she does because she's Catwoman.
But the cops are already pretty suspicious.
Yeah, so the cop... This is the thing too, Catwoman didn't need to do anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just a simple police investigation
this cop
would have found her innocent.
We don't know how, but this cop seems to know everything. Just off a hunch. He as soon as something smells fishy to him, he goes there.
Oh, no, well, it was pretty obvious something weird was going on.
Anyway, so now we're at the headquarters of the cosmetic company, which is a giant building. Yeah. And the cop's there, and the cop's like, you know what? I know your cream's
I actually
fucked.
kind of believe Catwoman when she says something's wrong with your cream.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They catch Catwoman. I actually forgot that.
I just told you that.
Yeah, no,
he catches her.
I thought you were making some weird joke about the movie.
No.
She's
in jail. She just slips out through the bars. Yeah, when she wants to escape.
Her bones don't exist anymore.
But the cop goes to confront Sharon Stone, and she just starts beating the crap out of him because it turns out, apart from making you look young and possibly killing you if you stop using it, the face cream turns you into a living tank.
Yeah.
It gives you
Marble skin.
super armored skin and stuff.
Yeah, it was very weird. So Catwoman turns up to save her because
to save him.
Sorry. And they have a really shitty fight
where Catwoman basically just kicks the shit out of Sharon Stone. She just sort of takes it because she doesn't feel pain. So Catwoman's it's just 5 minutes of Catwoman just kicking her in the face.
This is the other weird thing. It's it's all over her skin. So either she's having
she's
baths,
been bathing in this stuff, or you just need to apply it to a small space.
When she dies, it only shows her face shriveling up
Well, it's because she's wearing clothes. Isn't she?
It showed her neck and everything below fine.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's very weird how it works. So yeah, they just do that, and that's the end.
Do that. Yeah. Catwoman kicks her out of the building, and she falls to her death.
Oh no, she's already had sex with the cop. I forgot that scene.
I can't remember that scene at all.
She must be in a cat.
Yeah, okay.
Like a cat.
I mean, we've skipped the date scene where she eats sushi like a cat and just shovels it into her face.
Someone thought that was hilarious.
Or when she's eating the tuna out of cans, which is just gross. She's got a pile of tuna cans on her bed and just been digging into it.
It's like whoever was directing this was like, we gotta remind everyone that she's also part cat.
It kind of reminded me of that Neil Breen movie, you know, when he opens the trunk of the car and it's filled with tuna cans.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if he's a cat man too, and he's been eating the tuna like that, just lying down on it, shoveling into his face.
No, he's trying to attract Catwoman. That's why he's got so much tuna. He's like, one day I'm gonna get back to my car and there's just gonna be this woman dressed as Catwoman eating tuna. No, but I felt like whoever directed this movie, they didn't realize it's like, no, she's Catwoman, but she's not a woman who has a cat thing, right? It's not a Rob Schneider movie where it's like, oh, he's a dog, you know? It's a movie where it's like she has powers and stuff, but they're just like, oh, make her do cat things, like lick herself, or eat sushi weird, or growl at dogs. It's like, no.
So with the ending, okay, so Sally gets her happy ending with the doctor.
Right.
They don't release the cream.
And then she also sends this weird thing to
she
the cop.
sort of breaks up with the cop, saying that she's got to be free.
Yeah.
She's got to be out and free.
Which is weird because the cops supported her.
Is she going to be a thief now, like an actual cat burglar? Because the cops know who she is. Right? The cops know she's Catwoman.
He knows who she... Yeah, it did not last long.
Yeah. So what's her thing now? She's unemployed.
Yeah.
She's still got the apartment in the city.
Right.
Is she just going to go around robbing places now? Because she doesn't really seem like a thief.
No, she returns everything.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't figure that bit out.
Well, I mean, we'll just have to wait for the sequel.
Yeah. After we know, Catwoman's definitely down for.
Oh yeah.
She loved that movie. It just was a confusing film. The CGI. So a lot of people hate on the CGI,
it's bad. It's noticeably bad.
So
especially for 2005.
I have to get this out though. So CGI, yeah, CGI is bad, but bad CGI normally.
Well, I think it's what they have her doing, where she's like running along the sides of buildings and stuff.
That's so bad.
And as it's her running along as a cat, so she's on all fours, like pouncing up these buildings.
Which would have looked just so much better if it was like a really acrobatic chick
woman acting like moving like a human being.
Yeah, and she can be flexible, moving around and stuff, and it's like that's cool. But it's not cool when they're doing this, and it's like she's such a sexy woman, but then they just show CGI her all the time.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's got to be really hard to move like that as a human with, arms and legs.
And you know the CGI is gonna look bad, but it's what they make the CGI models do that is bad, not just the fact that it's like old CGI. Like old CGI, that doesn't make a bad movie. People say, "Oh, the CGI is shit." It's not just that; it's what they make it do, and the movie itself is shit. It's not the CGI that makes it bad. So that's Catwoman.
Yeah. Great fun. Would you watch it? Like, would you recommend people to watch it? Did you enjoy the movie? I kind of enjoyed it.
It was quick.
There were some bits I didn't actually mind. Like, there were little bits when she's in her apartment after she's turned into a cat and she's just, like, walking around the apartment as a cat. Like, hopping from bar stool to bar stool. I kind of found that entertaining. That wasn't too bad.
I found this... I think the thing is... The only reason I would say to, like, it's not that bad to watch is just because it didn't feel that long. It felt pretty quick. Like, there really wasn't much going on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't hilarious or anything. And there was only, apart from that catnip scene.
It's pretty bad. I found it entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I'd say, if you're going to watch a bad movie, it's definitely one that you can watch.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's not one that you're going to be bored by. It's just a pretty damn bad superhero movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to go and watch Halle Berry's acceptance speech now for Catwoman.